Honey, where are my socks? Honey, where are my socks? Honey, where...
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like...
Fucker! You fucker! Hey, fucker!
Oh!
Huh? What the f...
Hello again, everyone. This is Bionic Slime. I'm your online voice for reviews of your choice, and this is another installment of BS Reviews. Today, I will be reviewing the CGI animated feature film debut of one of the most famous, iconic, and memorable anime characters of all time. I am talking about Astro Boy, created by the god of manga himself, Osamu Tezuka. Now, right off the bat, I'd like to state that I am not an Astro Boy fan. I know little to nothing about him. I didn't find any interest or appeal in either the original series, the new series, or the manga. He just didn't flat out strike my fancy. However, I was quite excited for this film because I wanted to see how American directors and writers could translate this anime series into a film that could possibly appeal to all audiences with this anime character. See how he'd work over here. So I was quite eager to see how that would go. You should also note that I listed this under as an anime film. While it is true this was not made in Japan and this was created more for American audiences with American writers and directors and all that crap, I still consider this as an anime film because it is an animated film based on Japanese content. It's not like the live adaptations like Dragon Ball Evolution or Street Fighter. So I still kind of consider this an anime film. You can disagree with me, but for classification purposes, I'm listing it as an anime film. Astro Boy is brought to you by Imagi Studios and Endgame Entertainment. It was directed by David Bowers. The original manga, as I said, was written by Osamu Tezuka, and the screenplay for this film on that was written by Timothy Harris. It stars the vocal talent of Freddie Highmore as Astro Boy, Kristen Bell as Korra, Nicolas Cage as Dr. Tenma, Bill Nighy as Dr. Elephant, Donald Sutherland as General Stone, Nathan Lake as Hamegg, and Eugene Levy as Orin. The plot of Astro Boy. Astro Boy sets itself in a futuristic city which is set hundreds of miles above Earth, which has now become a dumping ground for old robots, busted robots, and just people that no one really cares about anymore. Our main character is a young boy named Toby, who is a genius son of the genius scientist Dr. Tenma. However, due to an accidental renegade robot experiment, Toby is killed, and Dr. Tenma frantically built a robot duplicate of his son, which later becomes called Astro Boy. He is given state-of-the-art weapons, jets, and technology, though he is unaware he is in fact a robot. When he finds this out and finds that his father does not want him, he runs away and eventually ends up down on the surface world and meets a bunch of kids, a young girl named Korra, for example, who befriends him. Unfortunately, he finds out he can't really run away from his past or what he is, as he's hunted down by General Stone, who wants the energy source that powers Astro Boy to build a new wave of military robots to help him win an election. So Astro Boy must now fight against the humans, other robots, and the military in order to maintain his survival, his identity, and just to be a normal kid. At least that's what he hopes for. Review the plot. As I said before, I don't know a damn thing about Astro Boy, but I was really surprised to learn just how deeply traumatic and kind of dark how this story was. I had no idea Astro Boy was the dead son of a scientist. I thought he was just like a Pinocchio robot character who was just created outright. I didn't think he had a flesh form before. Maybe that was changed for this movie. I don't know. Either way, the point is I'm reviewing this story as it is. And as it is, I felt that really worked for the film. I really think it was an interesting way to do things, and I felt it really gave you a sense of tragedy to what is supposed to be a kid's film. And I mean, it's a basic discovery story, realizing what life is like, kind of like RoboCop, but without the major R rating, and just realizing how hard it is living now as this. And a part of the movie's realizing that Astro Boy has to accept that he is a machine, and accept that not everyone's going to love him for what he is. And it's an old story, it's a classic, heartwarming tale. I never thought I'd say that again about another movie, but this one really is. And for it to be mixed with such dark drama involving the whole death aspect, I felt that really worked nicely together. It gave a nice sense of mature content along with childhood content that works together, even though this is a kid's film, or is supposed to be. Review the characters. I thought Freddie Highmore was perfect for Astro Boy. I really didn't know how he would fare because I know it's been a long time since Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He has gotten older and his voice, no doubt his age, but here he still sounds like a kid, and it really works well. He gives a nice sense of attachment to the character. I think he fits it to a T. It's a good voice that I could picture for him. And despite what people think of him as an actor, I really think Nicolas Cage did a fantastic job here as Dr. Tenma. He really got the sense of emotion and the compassion and just the drama that he has to endure of being this father who loses his son, then has to go through rejecting his son because he's not how he was before. It's a really interesting, complex character structure that I think Nicolas Cage nailed on. He's made some turds in the past, I don't deny that, but I really think he did a good job here. I also like Bill Nye as Dr. Elephant. Kind of small role, but very, very good. I really think he also nailed some emotional roles down here, too. Nathan Lane was very interesting as Hamake. The character seemed very cliche and obvious, but he made it interesting. He made the concept enjoyable and fresh. I like Kristen Bell a lot, and I loved her character as Cora. Granted, I admit outright, there is not much to her character. She's pretty basic and cliche, but for some reason, I just found myself liking her a lot, and I really liked her voice for the characters. Everyone here, all the celebrity voices do a great job here. Donald Sutherland has a lot of fun with this role as the villain General Stone. That's all I'm pretty much going to say about him, because I'll explain that a little bit more later. But it's a good cast of characters. I like the celebrity talent here, and I felt they, for the most part, they all fit pretty well. Review the animation and the music. Animation was freaking fantastic. For those of you who don't know this was done in the same Hong Kong CGI animation style that brought the latest Ninja Turtles movie to life, the TMNT film. And I think they really perfected the film's animation style, particularly with humans, much better in this film than they did in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I loved the design of the robots. They were fan-frickin-tastic. I thought they looked great. They had a great design, and the animation brought them to life in a wonderful and really unique way. The battles in here were fantastic. There's this wonderful sequence where Astro Boy's fighting a bunch of robots in this battle royale Roman gladiator thing, and it just looked great. The animation made full well use of the battle sequences, the fighting, and just design of everything. It looked fantastic, particularly this giant robot monster that Astro Boy fights at the climax of the film. That just looked great. I mean, this movie has beautiful character designs. And I'll be honest, like I said, I didn't like the character designs, how they looked in the original Astro Boy series. They looked kind of gay, to be honest. I know that may sound offensive, but it is something that didn't click with me. But here, I think it makes good use of the animation design with CGI animation. It just makes them look more lifelike, and it makes the designs much more likable. This movie, I think, made it work in a way that even an average moviegoer can like it, and even someone who's been familiar with this work can like it even more. So I think the animation style worked. Music was very, very good. A lot of good stuff. A lot deeper than I thought. A lot more epic sounding. I think it had a very nice soundtrack. It wasn't drowned out by pop songs or popular bands. It had a good epic score that I think just fits right at home. Flaws about the film. One of the most obvious flaws you're going to notice is that this is a kids' film, or it's supposed to be directed at kids. So, yes, there's going to be some goofy, corny jokes that are not really funny to adults and may seem cheap and stupid. Some of them were pretty good, some of them were just bad. I mean, just this one running joke with Eugene Levy's character as this robot servant, Oren. He wasn't that funny, but he wasn't that bad either. He was just kind of annoying. But it's not terrible. I mean, it does become bothersome at times, but you got to remember this is what this is aimed for. But I think by far the biggest flaw in this film, and I kind of hinted at it before, was the character of General Stone, played by Donald Sutherland. This is just a terrible, terrible villain. And this is a big thing for me because I love villains, and I think they make great characters in films. But unfortunately, this is probably one of the worst examples of them. He's a terrible villain. He's too obvious, too cliche, too stupid. His jokes are not that funny. I mean, Donald Sutherland may be having fun with this role, but personally, I thought he was bad. I thought this was a terrible character that just ultimately made things seem too silly and incompetent. On a wrap up, Astro Boy is what I expected it to be, and a little bit less and a little bit more. It was a great way to look at a character without having known prior knowledge of the show. I don't care for the original animations of Astro Boy. This one appealed to me, and I could like it for what it was. I thought the animation style was beautiful and gorgeous. I loved the fight sequences, good music, got a nice, well-rounded cast here. I admit the General Stone villain with Donald Sutherland was completely boring, wasteful, and just a stupid character. But on the plus side, you got so much better, stellar performances from like Nathan Lane, Kristen Bell, Freddie Highmore, and above all else, Nicolas Cage. I do not feel this film is too dumbed down by its kiddie factor, and I feel this is a great film to introduce fans, both young and old, to Astro Boy that I think people can relate to without having to worry about loving the old series or not. It's not a disgrace to Astro Boy, it's just a new take on him, and it's a new take that I enjoyed. Bottom line, I give Astro Boy 3 stars out of 5 stars. Well, that's all for now. This has been Bionic Slime for BS Reviews. Thank you for listening, and bye for now.